So hi guys, how are you today? I hope you have a good Christmas and New Year. So guys, I was thinking about doing a video about my experience, or we'll just say the subjects from EN to RN. What subjects are being accredited and what subjects do you have to do when you do the RN course online. So I'm doing my RN at the moment guys, and from EN course to RN, I got like 9 subjects credited all up. So total subjects to do when you do an RN is 20 subjects all up. So that includes major and minor subjects. And then it's all up 20. So I look at my, it's all, it's like 9 subjects are credited, which I don't have to do anymore. And then I have to do 11 subjects, which includes aged care, mental health, pathophysiology and pharmacology, acute care, child and adolescent, chronic and complex, primary health care, managing deteriorating patients, which I'm going to be doing next month, transition to practice, theory to practice, and evidence-informed practice, which is the research, I believe. So each subjects, guys, you have 3 months to do it. Like every session is like 3 months to complete the subject. So it's up to you if you're gonna take either 4 subjects all up, or as that's full time, or you will do 2 part-time. So far I've done 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So far I've done 7 subjects, and I've started at 2019, November 2019. So last year, and then November 2019. So halfway there, I got 4 more subjects to do. So I'm doing 2 subjects every session, because the assessments, guys, I'll talk about assessments in a minute. So let's talk about placement. So all up, you will have to do 18 weeks of placement, which is, I calculated it, it's 720 hours, because there's like 8 hours in one day, in one shift. So you have 1 weekdays, so from Monday to Friday only. There's no Saturday and Sunday. So each day there's 8 hours, so 720 hours, equivalent to 18 weeks. So which is not too bad, because it's not like continuous placement. Because if you finish, example, if you finished acute care, then maybe a month later you will get your placement, like 4 weeks for acute care. And then in mental health, you will have 2 weeks of placement, mental health. The good thing about is aged care, you don't have to do any more placement on aged care. Pediatrics, I think major subjects like acute care, pediatrics, deteriorating patients, that has 4 weeks placements all up, but the rest are only 2 weeks. So chronic nursing is only 2 weeks. So yeah, that's 720 hours of placement, which is not consecutive weeks. You have to every after subject you do, maybe 2 months after that, you will have placement. Depends on the availability of the facilities that the school will put you in. But for me, I've done so far 4 weeks of acute, 2 weeks mental health, and I'm doing next one is chronic. So I still got a lot to go. So yeah, that's 3 months to complete every subject. The good thing about doing in EN first and then transition to RN is that you can work already as an EN, and then at least you have a background already of nursing before you proceed to uni. So guys, assessment wise, so the RN assessments. So yeah guys, sorry, the battery just went boop. Anyway, so if you want to learn more about the transition from EN to RN, guys, just let me know. And it's pretty much different from when I did my EN course in like TAFE. It's like a institution, but it's not a university. So the assessments in the uni, like when you do your RN, is very different because they really stick to referencing guidelines like APA referencing. You really have to follow all those steps in putting up your references. Like they're very strict with what references you're using, if it's reliable source or just from Google, something like that. So they're very strict with referencing. Each subject has maybe about 3 assessments. So I would say if it's a major subject like acute, you might have 3 assessments. One is like I've done my acute one. There's one that is only 1,500 words assessments, which is a case study where you have to, for example, you have to put in a discussion a certain type of disease or condition, for example, type diabetes, which is related to the case scenario that they are given. So you will put a discussion, what's the pathophysiology of diabetes and how it relates to the case study, what are the signs and symptoms, what are the nursing interventions that you are going to give, so that also correlates with the case study. So you really have to interconnect with the case study that they've given to you. So that's where you base all your explanations from. So yeah, that's maybe 1,500 words for the acute one. And then there's a second part of the assessment, which is usually number 2, assessment 2, where you have to explore more in-depth explanation about case study 1, which is, yeah, you have to explain more further in depth about that kind of disease and how they correlates with each other, or like comorbidities and everything, something like that. So the assessment 2 should be about maybe more like 2,500 words, the most 3,000 words. So you have to have like at least an introduction, discussion, and the conclusion, and your grammar and everything in there should be correct. So yeah, it's very difficult. Yeah, I usually use a Grammarly app in doing my assessments. So they have also deadlines. When you do assessments, there are also deadlines which you only submit through the online portal for students. So we have an online portal for students because I'm doing an online RN, like I'm doing it online, and we just have to have residential schools every subject, especially major subjects. So in acute care, we have 3 days residential school, which I have to go and drive 3 hours from here to attend the lab days for 3 days. And then the chronic one, we had 3 days as well. The pediatrics, maybe only 2 days, and the other one, mental health, is only for 1 day. So yeah, there's always a residential school in every subject, like the major subjects. But the aged care, we didn't have any residential school in aged care. Pathophysiology and pharmacology, we didn't have residential school. But acute, chronic, pediatrics, what else? Mental health, we have residential schools for that, and there's more coming because I still have 4 subjects to do. So in residential school, what you usually do in a laboratory is like practice the skills that you learned, like for example, priming an IV line, medications, administration, catheterization, NGT insertion, and sort of skills. Like you just practice all the skills in there, and there's like also case scenarios that you have to role play with the other students. So that's how it works. So that is mostly like still from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock of lab days. So if you don't do residential school, you will not get any placement. So it's a prerequisite to have a residential school before you get a placement. And placement wise, you can give your preferences of which area you want to do your placement, but mostly they have to choose where they're gonna put you. But you can only put your preferences in, or preferences in, but they will have to choose it for you. So luckily for me, I only had I've done 3 placements. I've done one in mental health, which is only here. I've done the acute one in Wangaratta, which is like maybe 2 hours drive from here. So thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you again on my next one. Bye. Keep those questions coming so I can make more videos about it, only based on my experience. So thanks guys again. Bye. Take care.